Now, can everybody be an entrepreneur or a businessman?
Well, the answer is simply yes, in the sense that when we were born, we never went to school. But when you went to school, you knew certain things, the language, mathematics, and the rest. And you can agree that not everybody that goes to school also succeeds in that school, but that person will have his own talent. So everybody has something that you can learn. So entrepreneurship is something that we can learn. So I would say that, yes, we can create entrepreneurs, you can learn entrepreneurship. But it goes to confirm that everybody is born without anything. But then we learn the trade alongside.
Okay. Which of the two do you think is most needed in Ghana or Africa? Entrepreneurs or businessmen?
Right now we need entrepreneurs.
Why?
We need the thinking, the mindset. Because, you know, in leadership, if you are not a visionary, you cannot, you know, practicalize certain things. You just be following the status quo, which may not help your people. But if you are a visionary, and for that matter, an entrepreneur, there's a lot that you can do to help your people. You can innovate, you can create new things and improve upon the existing laws or, you know, the infrastructure, the businesses, everything that is at stake that you come to lead. If you're an entrepreneur, you can change certain things, you can dream about good things for your people. So in Africa right now, I think it's about time we got entrepreneurs to be the leaders of Africa. We need visionaries in Africa right now as leaders who would then innovate certain things. They will not go by the status quo that they come to see. Governance structure right now should be done by entrepreneurs, people that can think of certain things that will improve the life of the people. Things are changing. 21st century, there's a lot of dynamics that we need to go by, and that will be done by entrepreneurs and not politicians per se.
Then comes the problem of identifying opportunities, particularly in this COVID-19 times. You know, how easy or difficult is it to identify opportunities in Africa or Ghana, for that matter?
Well, I think that entrepreneurs imagine things. In COVID-19 era, everything has come to a standstill. It requires the dreamers to see how best they can turn around this pandemic. It's an opportunity for entrepreneurs to come out with new ideas. Then businessmen will take over, not academicians. Businessmen will then take over. In this pandemic, what is happening? Travels have stopped. Groupings have been seized. People have been locked down. What's the way forward? As an entrepreneur, I'm thinking about webinars. That webinars is something I'm thinking of. How do I supply the needs of the people online? So instead of me opening a pharmacy shop, a store in a 4-wall room for people to enter, I think I should rather give it to them in their homes, online. So those are the areas that I'm thinking of. How do I transfer money to my old lady in the village? I use the Momo transfer. How do I transfer my the bread that I need to give to my old lady at the village? I'll use a dispatch rider near my old lady's home. How do I get the dispatch rider? I have to get him online. So now, if you do not understand the work of IT and how you can use the services of social media, you'll be one of the poorest people in the world. So I'm saying that in the next 10 to 20 years, academicians may be the poorest, unfortunately. because we need people with that kind of mindset that's not academic, but more of information technology base. One may ask, without the fundamental of education, how would you go by the IT? I tell you, these 419 people, some of them have never stepped their feet in school, but they are able to handle the IT. It's an information technology base. So I would say that even though education is good, in the 21st century, it's not very important. 21st century is going for people that have talents and can display their talents. If you have education like English and maths, so be it. It's good, it will be a foundation, but it's not a prerequisite of success. And I want to emphasize on that. It's not prerequisite. In the 19th and 20th century, it was slavery. People had never been to school, but they were looking for very fit and huge human beings that could till the land of Europe and America, that could withstand the avarice of the weather. And when they came to West Africa, they had people about 6 feet plus, 7 feet tall, huge. They are the basketball players in America. And for nearly 200 years, they removed all these people and transported them to Europe and America. That was slavery. They realized that they were being inhumane to these people. And so, coming to the 20th century, they said everybody who is using human beings to till their land should now go to machines. And that was the beginning of industrialization in the 20th century. It became so powerful that countries that embarked on industrialization became rich, and those that didn't became poor. Luckily for Ghana, it was the middle of 20th century, 1957, that our Osajifo came back to Ghana and said we should be independent politically. So he fought for us, and eventually the Big Six managed to get our independence for us in 6 March 1957. Nkrumah, realizing that the whole world was changing into industrialization, decided that Tema should be our industrial city. So he pushed the sea, put a dike there, and Tema became industrial city. We were making our own television, Akasanoma, and then we were also having Sanyo. We were making our own radios, our own batteries, a ready battery.
Firestone, you know.
And the rest. Firestone was rubber to make lorry tires. And then every region should have a factory. So Abayime, we had a rice factory. Salt Pond, we had a tiles factory. In Kumasi, we had a jute. Pualungu, we had the corned beef and tomato paste factories. In Sawan, we had breweries. That was Ghana. So Ghana became industrial country. We had 16 ships called Black Star Line, 20 aeroplanes, Ghana Airways, and Ghana was busy. We were making it. 9 years later, 1966, he was booted out. So the whole project, the 7-year development plan, could not see its fruitful end. We were all expecting that subsequent governments will follow that industrial section, industrialization agenda of Nkrumah. Unfortunately, they either abandoned or sold, and subsequently we do not have any ship, we don't have any aeroplane. Everything has been sold out, everything has been abandoned. You go to the regions and these factories are there. This was industrialization in the 20th century, and the prediction was that by the end of the century, 2000, everything will cease and things will change. And so, in the 21st century that we have entered, the century of industrialization time is over. Now it's about imaginative things, things that will be used without physical things. Accounting is now being handled by softwares. If you go to the airport in traveling, getting your passport, getting your visa, getting your seat in the aeroplane, all could be done online. So now it's about the mind.